Hey there, YouTube friends, maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. We're back in Planet Zoo, the beta, and we are working on just a little something, a little bit of a reflecting pool, kind of fancy pants area here. All scenery, doesn't actually do anything except look nice, but it is heavily influenced by the Houston Zoo. There is something kind of like this in the Houston Zoo. The one in the Houston Zoo is much longer, and there's actually a big stretch of grass in between the upper and lower levels, which actually probably would have made a lot more sense for me because the Planet Zoo pathing tools, they are so frustrating sometimes, and that was the issue with this build. It took way too long to make this, given what it was, a rectangle. Like, it shouldn't have been this hard to have a sunken in plaza and then a path above it too. Like, for whatever reason, that was really hard to do. Like, I cut out a big chunk of time lapse where I was just fighting the path tools. So you can see it actually only has access on one side. It should have access on both sides. I will have to go back in at some point and fix that, but here we are trying to figure out what to do with this area here. I couldn't leave it like that. That didn't look good. I didn't want that gap there with the paths, because at the end of the day, I just decided to say forget it and use raised paths because I wanted water in it, so I thought I'd use the in-game barriers, the glass barriers, which look pretty cool here. And they actually, I think it works well. And then once you put the classic pillars down like that, I think it turned out well. But it was a big struggle. Luckily, though, that's not the only thing we have going on in this episode. We're going to, as soon as this is done. Oh, by the way, those big acacia trees, I'm trying to use those to replicate the southern live oaks that we have down here in Houston. And they are really, like, these got these massive trunks with these huge branches that just span outwards. It seems like forever. It's incredible how far out these southern oak can stretch. And the acacia sort of replicates that slightly. So that's why I'm kind of using them heavily. Just because it's the closest aesthetic to what I'm most familiar with. In fact, I'll be going to the zoo probably in a couple days here. I am off of work for a week, so I'm going to take the kids to go do some fun stuff, and we'll probably go to the zoo one day. I'll take lots of pictures, probably get lots of ideas. However, I'm probably not going to go till after the beta's done, so I won't be able to put anything into this park, but whatever. One of the things I did is add some ivy there. You notice that's supposed to be some... there's an invasive species down here of vines that kind of attacks everything, and it's everywhere. I don't know if it's actually on the plants at the zoo. It wouldn't make sense. It probably wouldn't be, but I put it on there anyway. I think it adds a little bit of extra detail to make it interesting. And here we are on our main animal exhibit for the day. I said in the last episode tapirs. I don't know why I said that. It was warthogs. I've had these two warthogs sitting around for forever, so I decided to give them a much more fancy habitat than maybe they necessarily deserve, because I mean they're just warthogs. But I wanted to show off some different techniques here. I made a big deal with the kind of ramshackle, old school rectangular pens. I wanted to show that I'm aware that we can also do more modern looking pens like this. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think it's going to be really good, and it was a good beginning. It was a good warm up, I suppose. It was a good warm up for one of the big indoor attractions that I really want to do. So if you like this, if you think this looks good, and you're excited to see more, you can expect that probably in another 2 episodes or so. Probably get started on it next episode, and then finish up in the second one. I think there's only going to be, what's today? Today's Saturday. That might only be 3 more episodes of this series. I might only be able to get that much more done before the beta goes away, unless they extend it, which I don't see them doing. But then again, I don't have any inside knowledge of any variety, so who knows? Maybe they'll extend it. That'd be cool. Extend the beta, please, Frontier, so I can play some more. But anyway, this rock work here, I love all the rock options we have. We have so many more rock options in Planet Zoo than we had in Planet Coaster, which makes sense to me, I guess. However, I did intentionally try to make it look a little fake, to the point where if you look real carefully from the peep view, you can actually see the roof. And to me, that feels kind of that's the kind of realistic thing that I like to do. Like, we're like, yeah, pretty much like 90% of the way there. It almost looks real, but then there's always something. Either the way the rocks are placed or built, or what color they are, or the way they interact. It, you could just tell, nah, that's not real. So, yeah, this is a massive pen. I thoroughly underestimated how big this pen is, but I'm okay with it. I think it looks really good. And I like this glass here. I like that there's all these different vantage points. You can actually go up on the elevated walkway to get like you can feel like you're in the habitat. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. But then if you're just passing through, you can maybe snag a peek at a warthog. I like that a lot. I'm also really happy with the way the river turned out. And this isn't the final version here. I actually extend it all the way to the edge of the path. You'll see in the real-time portion, we'll go over it and take a look. But I wanted to go ahead and use the null barriers as much as I could and cover it all up so you actually couldn't see the barriers in most of the cases. Like, yeah, we have the glass walls, but and you might be able to see a little bit of the wooden walls, but for the most part, especially this walkway here, I really wanted it to feel custom, and I really wanted it to feel natural. Like, this feels more like you're entering the animal's habitat than you are necessarily putting the animal in your habitat, if that makes any sense at all. So using these rocks again, rotating them, trying different sizes, turning them on their sides, getting pieces so that we're not covering too much path, and that we are also making sure no animal can climb up and out, which is true. No animal can climb up or out here, which is always good. It'd be insane. But yeah, check in the heat maps here to make sure that the animal indeed, that the warthogs do indeed have room to roam, and they have tons of room to roam. So the last part of the time lapse today is going to be a cut right about here, and what we're going to see is we're going to be building a custom cover for this circular part of the habitat, the main viewing area where the information signs are, where there's some educational stuff. We're going to build a little cover. This is a technique that's real popular in Planet Coaster, and it was introduced to me at least by Silverette, and I'm sure you're all familiar with him. He has a great tutorial on domes and how to build them in Planet Coaster, and it's the exact same strategy for Planet Zoo. The only thing is we have a few less gridded post options, which make it even easier to do this. I had to do this without an on-grid piece, which, for all the complaining I do about things on or off the grid, or not being off grid, I actually needed an on-grid piece to really make this easier. It wasn't too bad because it was a pretty simple structure. I intentionally kept it simple, but you can see you make one wedge and then you copy it on the other side and rotate it around, and you've got a perfectly circular little gazebo type cover thing here. And it's simple, but that's what I wanted. Let's hop into the live portion and take a look at what we did today. So here we are in real time today, and I thought we'd have a nice sunny day, but it looks like there's some clouds rolling in. Oh no, we picked a rainy day. I thought I'd take this opportunity to show off the weather effects. I don't think I've really done much of that. I'm sure you've seen some screenshots, but I'm not sure how many people have actually shown off the rain in real time. So we're going to have it raining while we look at the park today. Here is what I was building at the beginning of the time lapse. Here's kind of what it looks like here. Everything's slowed down. You get a better view of it. Love these statues. They're so cool. I hope we get a whole bunch of statues like this in the game once full release drops, because I could use all kinds of these all over the park. It's so great. Love, love, love all the statues. Need to clean all this area up here, but one of my favorite views is just from up here. You just see it kind of, I really like that. I think it looks really nice. I'm really proud of how that turned out. Now I gotta get over there looking nice. So the other exhibits on the complete opposite end of the view, or a complete opposite end of the park. So let's go ahead and take a walk. Oh, I wanted to show you that in here, I kept it the same, but it stopped being so crowded. The minute I opened up a new exhibit and made sure all the animals in my other exhibits were good, this cleared out pretty quickly, so we're pretty good. So back out. Oh, and also look, it's not raining in here. That is such a cool thing. It's so neat. I know Planet Coaster doesn't have weather, but Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, I mean, granted, the game's really old, it rained inside your buildings. I love that the buildings, the scenery actually occludes the rain. That is so great. So look at the puddles. Oh, it's so beautiful. Here's some really oh, I am having some troubles with staff building in there because I have a keeper hut, but it's decorated, but the people still complain that they can see it. Added some enrichment to the turtles. They now have a beach ball. Oh, look at how shiny the beach ball is in the rain. You gonna hit the beach ball, buddy? Do it. You're so old. You're so slow. Ugh. That's great. There it goes. Love it. So good. I love this rain and all the umbrellas. And I'm so glad in some of the screenshots they showed, they were all green. I'm glad we've got different colored umbrellas. Got to make these bathrooms look not like garbage. But here it is. Here's sort of the back end of the habitat. You've got there. Here's all their hooved animals, probably taking some cover or sitting in the rain, whatever. But and here's the Antler Cafe. So let's take a look at the outskirts before we go up on the path. So here's a look at it from this view, and you can see that the river now goes all the way over to there. And I've actually included some little drains. I don't know. I guess that would go into a filtration system. That might not be the most efficient thing, but it felt like a nice little detail to add. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't know. I don't think it's too realistic, but a nice detail to add nonetheless, I thought. So I like here that you can get some views in there. If you're like right there, there he is. There's our warthog friend over there. Playing in the sprinkler in the rain, of course. Why not? So, but here I dressed up the fences a little bit to make the rocks kind of blend in a bit better. I think it feels better. I like this look a lot. And you'll notice I'm not doing anything with the curves. I'm kind of letting the curves just end with the rocks. I like that look. I've seen zoos do things like that. So let's head up into the enclosure and see what we can see. So whoop, here we go. There is that cover we were making. And oh yeah, see now it's not completely covered. So you can see the rain coming through. Look at that. That's pretty neat. So, but here's our enclosure. The cover there for the animals, I think is just fine. And like I said, from here you can just about make out the roof of the building behind it. And I like that the rocks kind of look artificial, but not too bad. Look at the shininess on these rocks with the rain. That's glorious. That is so good. Look at the way it sheets like that, and you can see wind blowing. That's really, really impressive. So from up here, you get a good look, and I tried to block the fence as best I could here with reeds, but I also wanted to add plants all over, wherever I could, because I thought it would look a little lame. So I tried to include as many small shrubby plants as I could, and I think it turned out pretty well. Like the little height variation we got going on here. And if you notice, we do have steps here, and we have a ramp here. So even our disabled friends can get in and take a look. Just this little path here, you get them on either side. They don't come over here too much. They usually hang out over here. We'll take a look at it from animal view in just a second. So, but then you just walk on back down, and there you are. I'm going to make a little sign that says like Warthog Way or something, and we'll add that. So, tried to put some non-African plants around the habitat to try and make the things blend in a bit. I think it's not too terribly bad. I'm trying to find the less recognizable plants so that it doesn't look too outlandish. Like when I build, oh here he comes. When I build in a temperate biome to have these African plants, it's going to be kind of weird. So, oh, and there's our two warthogs. Look, I look to run through the rain or run through the river. I think this river was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I added this little effect here to make it look like this is where the water's bubbling up, so that it is being agitated, so it doesn't stay dirty. It's not dirty. There is some movement, so algae and stuff won't grow. That's kind of my thought. And there you go, swimming. I don't know if it has we should look to see if it has filter access. If not, I will add it to make sure that it is just fine. I've upgraded all the food to level 2 quality food. They are empty right now. I wonder, does the box look like it's wet? That's something. Not really, yeah, a little bit. It should deteriorate faster in the rain. That might be asking too much. But here's our view as a warthog. This is what we see. I think it's pretty cool. I'm very happy. And they count this, I think, as shelter, because they can hide under here and they won't get wet. Look at this, is all dry. This weather system is phenomenal in this game. I'm very impressed by that. Again, the visuals and the audio are just top notch. I have very little to complain about with how this game looks or sounds. So, but yeah, that's about it for the episode. Let's get out of the habitat here and take a look at where we stand. You can see how much bigger this is compared to everything else, and yet it doesn't feel huge. It's big, but it doesn't feel too terribly huge. So you can see kind of the layout we're going for. I'm going to add something fun over here. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. And then our big build for I'm going to put right here. It's not going to fit the rest of this. Like our African area will just be this area right here, I guess. And then we'll do something different over here, something unique, hopefully something huge, hopefully something good. Let's turn the rain off. Let's make the sun come back. Let's make the sun come back. So now as the rain stops, we'll get a quick look at it during the day. There you go. So let's zoom in here. So that's going to do it for us today. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. If you're new, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the fun content we do here on the channel. And as always, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see you real soon for the next episode of Planet Zoo. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.